What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are here at Lake Julian Disc Golf Course and we are talking about Formwork, specifically about grip and shot selection for super fast rim drivers. So the slowest disc I have out here today is this Destroyer. This is going to be kind of our benchmark. This is a 12 speed. I can put this on whatever angle I need to, but as we start to get up into the faster rim discs, 13, 14 and a half. The nose angle control, the release point, the release angle, it's gonna have to change a little bit for me to still generate the shot that I'm looking for. So let's go ahead. We're gonna go back up to the tee pad up here. It's in the sun though. So we're doing the intro down here in the shade. I'm gonna go up there, I'm gonna throw the Destroyer on a backhand, and then I'm gonna throw this Dimension on a backhand. And while this Destroyer is straighter than this Dimension, you're going to see a lot more control and a lot more fairway style shot shape from the Destroyer, because this is a 14 and a half speed. I think this is the widest rim PDGA approved. This thing is big. Let's go start throwing. A little bit of a grip lock. That almost hurts to throw in this heat. Now here's something to think about for fast rim drivers. Why do you think that most distance drivers have some type of negative number involved? A lot of fairways, you'll find some 0-1, 0-2s, 0-3, 0-4s. But unless you're going over stable distance driver, you're not going to see a 0 with a bigger number. You're going to have a negative with something else, because to get a distance driver size rim to come out nose down, it's easier to throw it on hyzer and to keep it nose down. If you're trying to come over with a distance driver rim, you literally have to keep it mashed down to get it on that nose down angle, versus on hyzer, you can control that all the way through your shot and still stay on top of it, so you can give yourself more chances for success, which is why I really love to throw the Mayhem, and now I'm loving to throw the Katana, because I can throw them on hyzer and still get that shot. Whereas if I throw this Dimension on hyzer, faster rim, more overstable disc, it's not going to do the same thing. So to get it to do what it needs to do, or what I'm trying to get it to do, I have to get it to come out here, and then I have to be ultra precise and ultra aggressive trying to get that nose angle down, because of how fat and wide this rim actually is. Here we're gonna go Destroyer and Katana. We're gonna start off with just a hyzer shot. Let's watch and see if this Destroyer stands up. A little bit of a grip lock again, but also a tiny bit of a stand up. If I can release this Katana on hyzer, we should see more stand up, because instead of being a -1-3, it's a -3-3. So that means that we should be able to release it on more hyzer, trying to push it into that gap, and it should still stand up. Okay, maybe not. that much hyzer, but I did punch all the way through. Let's go ahead and throw the Mayhem just to see if I can correct that mistake. This one though is negative 1.52. So you're not gonna see near as much turn out of this as you will out of the Katana. You're also not gonna see quite as much fade. So this is going to give you more of the shot shape of that Destroyer, but a slightly faster rim. So basically the same shot as the Destroyer, but I do kind of have to release the Mayhem on hyzer, whereas the Destroyer, I don't have to. Now, if I wanted to release this on hyzer, I still can on this hole because, well, especially with the headwind, I can get a drift out of it if I release it on hyzer because it's a straighter Destroyer. So releasing it on hyzer allows me to keep it more nose down, which gives the disc more perceived speed, thus making it feel more understable, feeling like it's faster, even though it's going the exact same speed. Versus this Dimension, if I want to throw the Dimension on hyzer to keep it nose down, I have to go big hyzer because there's no way I can keep it in the fairway. I have to go over here. Almost. I was so close. But to keep it on hyzer, a disc like that, you have to swing it so much wider because it just doesn't have any flip up. So how do we throw discs accurately nose down, but not quite so much on hyzer? Let's see if we can't get this Mayhem to go and do a little bit more flex like the Katana, because I just released on a little less hyzer. Oh yeah, we can still get that shot. I think I'm pin high. And this hole is, that's not accurate. I ranged it to 470. That's at 455. But I do think I'm still pin high, which is still a pretty good rip. And guess what? I didn't really throw the Mayhem on hyzer. It was pretty much a flat release. So if you overcommit to nose down, you can still throw those other angles. But you do kind of have to overcommit. Because if you just try to throw them normal, that normal amount of nose down from your hyzer release, not gonna let it do what it's supposed to because suddenly it's not thrown on a hyzer release, so it's not quite as nose down. See the issue? So I like to, a lot of times companies will number their discs similar enough to each other that if you know how one disc flies, you should know how another disc that's similar but different flies, even though flight numbers from company to company are skewed wildly. However, what I've noticed is that with Innova, I tend to find that if I want a straight to stable disc, -1.3 is perfect. If I want a straight disc that doesn't fade as much but turns a little more, -2.2 is perfect. But if I want a disc that just turns and doesn't really fade, -2.1. So taking that into account with, that's a mid-range. Taking that into account with the 0.3 of the Dimension, the -1.52 of the Mayhem, and the -1.3 of the Destroyer, we should see those differences. They all kind of end up as somewhat supposed to be similar. That's not the right way of saying that. What am I trying to say? So based off of, even as far as flight numbers go, the Mayhem is closest to being even, closest to being -2.2. And then you have the Destroyer -1.3, and then you have the 0.3. But as you get up to this faster, super fast rim driver, to get it to come out nose down, I have to throw it on hyzer. Or I have to be overly aggressive on throwing on anhyzer. So in the battle between the Dimension and the Panic that's going to be coming out later this month, watch for the first throw was great. I actually got it nose down, but watch for as I started to throw it a little bit more, I stopped being as overly aggressive on the nose angle, and so it started coming out nose up. So if I want this disc to fly straight, or if I want this disc to flex at all, I have to be overly aggressive. But if I just want to have big dump, I can throw it on hyzer, and I don't have to worry as much about it because my normal hyzer release puts discs more nose down than my natural anhyzer release does. Taking that into account, let's go up there in the sun. We'll throw the last 3 shots. I'm gonna have to get a new katana, but that's fine. I haven't thrown that one that many times. Let's head up here and hit some bombs. All right, we're gonna start with a touch of hyzer on the Mayhem. Then we're gonna throw the Destroyer pretty much flat. Then we're gonna try to flex this. And if I can get them to actually release nose down with the right amount of spin, what we will see is very similar shot shapes, different executions of doing the same shot shape, if I can execute properly. Now flat on the Destroyer, that was a little bit too much hyzer for that Mayhem. So probably gonna see more flex out of this Destroyer than out of that Mayhem because, oh, also the tailwind's not gonna help. That's just a bombing disc. It just goes really far before it starts to fade. Now, can I control the nose angle enough to put this on anhyzer and have it hold for a little ways? Yeah, I got it. There we go. And you didn't see it, but I saw it skip up and hit the pole. So I know exactly where it's at. Finally got it to go flex. The first couple of throws I had with it were amazing. And then it just got almost too overstable. And I realized that it was because I wasn't overcommitting to the nose angle. And when you have a disc that's that fast, it's gonna start to slow down and go nose up quicker. So you have to overcommit, almost put it too nose down for it to even do what it's supposed to do. Because I don't know what mile per hour 14.5 speed rim needs to be thrown at, but I'm fairly confident that I can't throw it that fast. So I have to be over aggressive with the spin and the nose angle and the release angle to get the shot that I'm looking for out of that disc. So hopefully you guys enjoy content like this and found some of this helpful. If you want to see new stuff though, make sure to comment all that down below. Please make sure to subscribe. It helps you guys out with these subscriber-only giveaways. And if you want to be automatically entered into monthly giveaways, check out the memberships as well. Until next time, see you out on the course.